Show starts now.
6:32. This is a live look from the WeatherStem camera at the Ocklackney Bay Bridge.
The one and only.
Yes, in Franklin County there. No one's out there yet. I'm surprised. I think the other day we actually saw someone early
Maybe
in the morning.
realizing it's really gross outside.
Yeah.
Better off stay in the air conditioning.
They stepped outside and said, whoa, it's already hot.
Turn around, go back in there. It's going to be one of those days. It's going to be another bad hair day. The glasses are going to fog up. You're going to see all the condensation on all the windows from those ACs running overtime. By the way, you don't have to crank the air conditioning up to make it even cooler. It'll cool it off just fine the way it is, right? If you normally leave it set for, 78 degrees or whatever like that, it'll still get down to 78. You don't got to crank it down to 74. All you're doing is making it work that much harder. Just a thought for you there. As far as our temperatures go around the region, it's 80 at Apalachicola, it's 78 at Bainbridge, it's 76 for Tallahassee and Perry. We got a lot of hot out there this morning, and we're going to find even more later on today. I'll be surprised, actually, if there's not spots touching 90 at noontime. I don't see anything on the radar, maybe one little speck down there up against the Taylor County coast. It's not much. I like to see more activity early this time of year. That usually bodes better for better showers in the afternoons. Now, I do think there can be some, but I'm not convinced we're talking about enough to really help cool things off, or not early enough to really help cool things off. So a lot of us are going to have a lot of hours in those mid-90s, and when you mix in that humidity, which is oppressive today, it's going to make it feel like it's up over 105, maybe like it's up over 108. That's why we've got a heat advisory out there for today. We're probably going to have a whole bunch of those this week because I don't see a lot of change in this forecast, not anytime soon. Fingers crossed we can find some showers. I'll break down that full forecast coming up.
We begin this half hour in Decatur County, where a teen is arrested accused of shooting another teen. Sunday, it happened at a home on Penelope Drive in Bainbridge. The sheriff's office says the suspect is expected to face multiple assault and gun charges. The victim is listed as stable at Tallahassee Memorial. We now know more details surrounding a weekend fire at a school in Thomasville. The fire department says it believes it was started by organic material stored in the bathroom of Scott Elementary that self-ignited. The fire caused heavy damage in the bathroom and minor smoke damage in the two adjoining classrooms.
The Leon County Sheriff's Office says it's seeing an increase in car break-ins and smash and grabs. This is over the last few months. Take a look at your screen here. Here's an example of what could happen during these smash and grab attacks. The Sheriff's Office says even if you lock your doors, you still shouldn't leave anything visible because that can make you an easy target. LCSO says if you become a victim, don't let the situation go unreported.
If it does happen, please make sure that you do contact us. We need to know when and where these are happening so we can try to find out who, the suspects or whoever they are. And it helps us keep record of where everything's going on.
And it's important that even after you file a report online, you still need to contact the Sheriff's Office so they can come and assess the damage on your car to begin the investigation.
6:35 now. A shooting, large gatherings of crowds of 400 to 600 people, and loud music. That's what Panama City Beach officials say has prompted them to pass an emergency beach closure ordinance. It's now been 6 days since this ordinance went into effect. Danny Travis spoke with officials to find out how things went after this first weekend with the ordinance in place.
The world's most beautiful beaches also becomes the most crowded during the summer months.
I would think that reminds me of my old college years.
Large crowds gathering at a certain portion of Panama City Beach at night is what prompted an emergency beach closure ordinance from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
I've heard things have been getting out of control recently, and so for that reason, maybe it's not a bad temporary thing.
The temporary closure affects the area from west of Boardwalk Beach Resort to west of Long Beach Resort.
Unruly crowds gathering. We've had 2 shootings 2 years in a row in the same location, and that's just 2 of the events that have happened back there.
But Beach Sergeant Nicholas Caligieri says this ordinance shouldn't affect businesses in the area after 10 p.m.
The only business that I even really know that's down there is Pineapple Willie's, and they close at 10 o'clock. So it's unfortunate. I wouldn't understand why, why it would affect them, but it's for the greater good to keep it that way.
A way tourists say they agree with.
I think it's very necessary, and I think it's a good idea until things get better.
Yeah, considering everything that's been happening, it's probably for the best.
With only 5 days of this ordinance having been in place,
As far as I know, it's worked really well, keeping the crowds out.
and keeping the crowds out is exactly what this ordinance is hoped to do for tourists and locals alike.
We haven't been out here too late, but we have seen some things going on, but nothing
Not
too
like
major.
big, huge crowds, just like little ones, but everybody got like kicked off the beach at the curfew time.
A curfew set in place for the safety of everyone on our beaches.
Runoff election happening soon in Georgia. Now, back in 2021, Georgia lawmakers shortened the period between an election and a runoff from 9 weeks to just 4 weeks, and that's leaving less time to vote early before next week's June 21st runoff. Opponents say the shorter runoff period is meant to suppress turnout, while supporters dispute that. Only 10 of Georgia's 159 counties started early in-person voting before Monday, and of 71,000 requested mail ballots, records show that more than 13,000 hadn't been mailed by Saturday. Now, looking at some of the races on that runoff ballot, Democrats Charlie Bailey and Kwanzaa Hall are facing off for the race for lieutenant governor. In the Democratic race for Secretary of State, D. Hawkins Hagler, a former state rep, and B. Wynn, a current state rep, are set to face off. And on the Republican side, Trump-backed Thomasville resident Chris West is facing off against Jeremy Hunt for a spot at Sanford Bishop's U.S. House of Representatives District 2 seat. And we've got a complete list of runoffs on our website. That's, of course, WCTV.tv.
In Florida, former Florida State University and NFL football player Corey Simon is now officially running against incumbent Loran Osley for her District 3 Senate seat. Simon filed paperwork just yesterday to run in the district that spans most of the Big Bend. Florida Senate President Wilton Simpson and State Senator Ben Albritton both announcing their support of Simon yesterday as well. In North Florida, Congressman Al Lawson also officially filing to run in Florida's newly drawn District 2, which now covers Tallahassee and the Big Bend. Lawson would be running against incumbent Neil Dunn. Today in Leon County, commissioners are expected to approve redistricting plans that eliminated Lawson's current district. Leon County Supervisor of Elections Mark Gurley says the new congressional map puts the county entirely in District 2. Redrawing the lines means the county would go from 156 precincts to 136. Because of this, Gurley says thousands of voters will be placed into new voting precincts.
The precinct maps are a little bit simpler now because we don't have the split from the congressional line, but it remains for the courts to decide whether that split is necessary for the representation aspect for the minority districts and things like that.
Early says he expects the county commissioners to approve their precinct changes. He's asking voters to check their new voter information cards they'll receive in the mail and make sure their address is accurate. If it's not, contact his office.
Time now for First Alert Weather with meteorologist Rob Nucatola.
All right, good morning again, everybody. This 24-hour temperature cast is going to tell the tale, starting hot, getting hot fast, and then maybe being stuck hot if we can't get some showers to cool things down. I think a lot of us are going to be near 90 by noontime and maybe staying that way till 6, 7 o'clock tonight, unless we can get some of those showers. I do think the chance for showers is there, but it's not going to be an everybody gets wet kind of deal. And even when the showers do their thing, if they do their thing, overnight tonight, it's going to stay muggy and it's going to stay warm with temperatures tomorrow morning, a lot like we have this morning. The cool spots, Perry and Live Oak and Cross City, 75. It's 76 in Tallahassee, 77 in Thomasville. Yeah, it's still 80 at Apalachicola. Been dealing with a little bit of patchy fog out there. Breeze is trying to perk up at times from the west or southwest, but a lot of visibility numbers, 5 to 7 miles. Right now I see 1 mile visibility around Live Oak. So we've got all this humidity in place. It's going to give us more patchy fog over the next couple of mornings. Now, not much on the satellite radar composite picture just yet. So we've got clear enough skies. You can see that full moon out there this morning. I think the story is going to be, can we cook up these showers and can it happen before 5, 6, 7 o'clock? Not convinced that it will. Hopefully we'll find some to help out those thirsty lawns, gardens, and greens, but it's likely not going to be until well after we spend a lot of time really hot. And over the next couple of days, it's going to be a little ridge of higher pressure to our south that may make it hard for the showers to do their thing. I can't rule out some showers each of the next few afternoons. Not when you have this kind of hot and humid going on, and we're going to have plenty of hot and humid going on. But I also think there's going to be a lot of areas that never see a single drop, and that means those thirsty lawns, gardens, and greens are going to stay thirsty. Winds on the Gulf today out of the west 8 to 16 and seas 1 to 3 feet. This morning we've got 70s and muggy, quickly climbing into the 90s and humid. I'll put the rain chances at 50-50. The rain chances are actually going to get a little lower after today. Let's go mid-90s for highs with the humidity. It's going to feel like it's up closer to 110. That's why we have the heat advisory for this afternoon. If you're going to be outdoors for any prolonged period of time, lots of cold water, take breaks, find the shade. Your body's going to need it. Any showers that are lucky enough to get going will fizzle out by about midnight. And there's that 7-day forecast. Look at all those mid-90s and upper 90s. It's not even summer yet. That officially doesn't happen until next week.